A famous writer has written about you in a book, and in chapter 11, they have written that you are. The pages turn slowly, and the words inside carry a weight you can feel even before you see them. Somewhere in the world, a book exists, and inside it, your life is etched in ink. Chapter by chapter, it follows your path, your struggles, your silence, and your moments of fire. But when the book reaches chapter 11, the tone changes. The writer, celebrated and known for piercing truth, stops speaking of the world, and instead, begins speaking of you. They do not describe you as ordinary. They do not place you in the background of someone else's story. No. In chapter 11, the spotlight sharpens, and every sentence is a mirror reflecting the hidden parts of you. Each line whispers something you've never dared to say aloud. You are the storm behind calm skies. You are the unbroken thread holding a fragile world together. You are the unspoken prophecy that others sense but cannot name. The writer knows things no one should know. They capture your quiet nights where you thought no one was watching. They capture the moments you closed your eyes and almost gave up. Yet instead of falling, you carried on. And in those pages, the writer declares you are more than your mistakes, more than your fears. They write that you are chosen. They write that you are remembered. They write that your chapter is about to shift into something no reader could predict. Imagine holding that book in your hands, reaching chapter 11, and realizing it is not fiction. Every sentence is your life pulled into words, sharper than memory, deeper than dream. The writer reveals that you are the one who has walked through fire and not burned. You are the one who has been underestimated, yet carries a strength that is about to be recognized. The book does not flatter. It reveals. And what it reveals is shocking, undeniable, impossible to ignore. The writer says that when people read this chapter, they will not be able to turn the page without remembering you. Your story will brand itself into their hearts. They will see you differently. They will see you as the hidden force whose silence has been louder than noise, whose patience has been stronger than rage. They will see you as the one destined to break the cycle, the one written not for shadows but for light. Chapter 11 is not the end. It is the turning point. And the writer makes it clear, you are the reason this book will be remembered. Without you, the story would be dust. With you, it becomes immortal. So listen closely. This is not about a writer's imagination. This is about you, your place in the story of now, your hidden role that is unfolding even as these words reach your ears. Chapter 11 is here, and it is yours. The book has spoken, and the world will soon understand what has been written about you. The paper smells like old rain, and the ink looks newly awake. When the writer reaches chapter 11, the letters sharpen like glass. They carve straight through pretense and search for your real pulse. They say you are the threshold that doors obey. When you arrive, endings bow and turn into weathered beginnings. You do not chase the moment recognizes you and stops running. You are written as the quiet in a crowded station. Everything moves, yet you remain unmoved, exact, deliberate. Noise bends around you the way wind curves around a mountain. The writer records your first vow to yourself. It wasn't shouted, it was held like fire in the hands. Since then, you have refused to negotiate your soul for temporary approval. You are the hand that does not tremble while tying the last knot. You are the map folded inside the map, the route after detours. Even when the road was torn, you became the bridge. They describe how you learned to carry storms without becoming one. You felt lightning but did not worship thunder. You chose direction over drama and truth over applause. The chapter remembers the rooms you left with dignity. It shows the doors that tried to keep you, and how gently you walked past them. Not from pride, but from precision, like a compass finding north. You are the sentence other sentences lean on when they get tired. Your presence is an editor that removes unnecessary fear. Suddenly the page reads cleaner, clearer, braver. The writer underlines the moment you stopped explaining yourself. Not because you were cold, but because you were finally exact. There is no need to translate sunlight to anyone standing in the field. You are portrayed as the witness the river trusts. Water confesses its depth when you stand near it. Currents slow down to show you their hidden turns. They show the archives of your patience, stacked like constellations. Every delay that tried to bury you accidentally planted you. Roots went deeper while the world misread your silence. You are the rhythm that grief could not break. Even pain learned your tempo and softened its steps. Where others collapsed, you breathed in, counted, and rose. The paragraph tilts toward your courage with a steady hand. It was never loud, just accurate. You pressed forward exactly one heartbeat beyond fear's last argument. You are the messenger who delivers news to your own heart first. Nothing you announce has not been tested inside you. That is why your words land with the weight of lived miles. The writer pauses over your mercy. Not the easy kind that forgets, but the strong kind that remembers and releases. It keeps the lesson and frees the person. You are the lighthouse that never advertises its light. Ships simply recognize the pattern and return alive. You don't preach safety, you embody direction. They recount the night you refused to fracture. Pressure gathered, but you gathered yourself more. What could have been a breaking became an alignment. You are drawn as the answer that stopped auditioning. Questions once chased you across long corridors. Now they take a number and learn to wait. The page glows when it speaks of your diligence. It is the choreography of small faithful steps. Every step seems quiet until the mountain notices and moves. You are the remark the horizon made about persistence. Dawn kept coming because you kept preparing. Readiness attracted timing until timing surrendered. They reveal the secret talent no one saw at first. You could turn closures into corridors with one decision. A wall became a paragraph break, then a new chapter. You are the mirror that returns a person to their promise. People leave your presence heavier with themselves, lighter with their fears. This is the rare arithmetic of your influence. The writer remembers your season of hidden work. Nothing glittered, everything mattered. In the dark, you mastered the levers that now move your daylight. You are the oath that stayed intact through long weathers. Storms tried to quote you incorrectly. You answered by living the correct sentence again. They trace your relationship with losses. You did not collect them, you composted them. What once ached now feeds fruit with your name in its sweetness. You are the pattern that destiny recognizes by touch. Doors unlatch like they've been expecting you. Not luck, just alignment meeting preparation at full speed. The chapter names your clarity with reverence. It is the fine edge that parts fog without harming it. Confusion falls away like old fabric from a tailored truth. You are the keeper of promises that outlast applause. While the crowd changed songs, you kept your rhythm. That is why your results arrive with their own fanfare. They unveil the ledger of your kindness. Debts were forgiven without announcement. You understood that freedom travels fastest in quiet. You are the shelter you once searched for. Now rooms borrow your calm to steady their walls. Breath returns to people when they stand beside you. The writer circles your intuition like a hawk around its field. It sees what maps forgot to label. You listen until the unnamed rises and calls itself. You are the hinge that made the heavy door easy to move. One small shift, then the whole room changed. Impact multiplied by precision, not by noise. They honor the discipline behind your grace. Beauty didn't happen by accident, it was rehearsed. Practice made poise feel like nature. You are the proof that integrity is momentum. Every aligned choice added a wheel to your chariot. Now forward is not a wish, it is an engine. The page remembers how you guard your peace. Not with walls, but with wise invitations. Only what respects your hours gets to enter your days. You are the forgiveness that kept your future open. Resentment knocked, but you answered with direction. You walked toward horizon and left the echo behind. They write of the names you outgrew with gratitude. Labels loosened as your truth expanded. You thanked the past and tightened your laces. You are the craftsperson of meaning. You carve purpose where others only see wood. Sawdust becomes incense in your workshop. The chapter drinks your resilience like water. It tastes clean, like mountain glass. Every sip restores intention to the muscles. You are the lesson that learned how to teach itself. Experience became language, then became structure. Now structure holds space for others to rise. They record the day you met your reflection without negotiation. You didn't ask it to shrink or stretch. You nodded, accepted, and upgraded. You are the rumor of light that turned into daylight. Hopes whispered your name before sunrise. Morning arrived and signed the rumor into fact. The writer annotates your boundaries in gold ink. They are not fences, they are frames. Inside the frame, your art stays vivid and unbroken. You are the companion of long roads, journeys. Trust you with their hidden shortcuts. Distance loses its reputation in your company. They highlight your relationship with time. You do not chase it, you choreograph it. Minutes learn to arrive dressed for purpose. You are the call that doesn't shout yet fills the room. Hearts answer it without consulting fear. That is how real authority sounds when it is whole. The page approaches your name like a bell. It rings once and the air changes. Echoes return carrying agreements you never forced. You are the oath keeper of mornings. Promises wake up at your bedside already honored. Your day begins where most endings end. They list your quiet victories, the kind that rewrite maps. No parade followed them, yet traffic patterns changed. Whole cities adjusted to your new coordinates. You are the seam the fabric trusts when it's pulled. Tension reveals the strength of your stitch. Nothing tears. Instead, shape returns. The writer lifts the veil on your calling. It is not a job, it is a geometry of service. You fit where you stand and enlarge what you touch. You are the calm that outruns panic without sprinting. Alarms look foolish in your presence and turn into signals. Signals turn into strategies, and strategies turn into results. They honor your reverence for small beginnings. You watered seeds as if they were forests. Forests answered by arriving on time. You are the answer key life keeps in the margins. When confusion scribbles, you translate. Order appears, gentle but undeniable. The chapter tilts toward prophecy in a grounded way. It doesn't predict, it recognizes. It names what is already walking toward you. You are the green light the universe trusts. Intersections clear when you step forward. Traffic becomes choreography, not chaos. They recall your vow to keep choosing clarity over spectacle. The world applauds noise. You invest in signal. Results keep arriving dressed as quiet miracles. You are the ink that refuses to fade. Time tries, but the letters hold. Meaning resists erosion when it is truly yours. The writer returns to the first line and ties it to the last. The circle closes, but the path opens. A chapter ends, and a horizon begins. You are named without fanfare, just accuracy. The page breathes, then settles, then shines. What is written about you refuses to be undone. They place the book back on the table with care. Chapter 11 glows like a lantern under the skin of the story. All that remains is the sound of your next footstep. You are the bridge between intention and arrival. Every board in that bridge came from a day you stayed true. Now crossing is not a miracle, it is the obvious outcome. The writer signs the margin with a quiet certainty. No arrows, no shouts, only a steady line. This is how permanence writes, calm, exact, inevitable. You are the paragraph the world rereads when it forgets itself. Clarity returns with your syllables. Rooms reorganize around your center. They close the cover gently, as if putting a sunrise to rest. The book is finished speaking for now, but the meaning keeps walking. It walks in your shoes with your pace and your steadiness. You are what the chapter says you are. And the air agrees. Even silence nods and takes a respectful step back. Space widens to fit your true shape. The writer leaves one page unnumbered at the end. Not as a cliff, but as a runway. Your name stands there, not waiting, proceeding. You are not the echo, you are the origin. You are not the draft, you are the edition that stays. Chapter 11 is the proof, and your life is the publication. The book does not close after chapter 11. Instead, the spine bends as if something alive still breathes inside. The writer's hand lingers, preparing to reveal what follows beyond the turning point. They begin chapter 12 with a silence that feels deliberate. It is not empty. It is charged, like the pause before thunder. Then the first word arrives, and it speaks of you again. The writer claims you are the axis of the unseen. Without you, maps lose their balance and stories scatter. With you, lines straighten and destinies find their direction. You are painted as the witness who transforms into the evidence. Not just an observer, but the reason events unfold differently. The very air shifts to align itself with your choices. They describe your walk as a negotiation with fate. Each step redraws the contract the world thought it had written. By the time you pass, destiny has signed a new agreement in your favor. You are the echo that refuses to fade until truth is heard. Walls that once muted voices now carry your resonance. Even silence speaks in your rhythm. The chapter unveils your resilience as architecture. Every wound became a brick, every lesson a beam. Now you stand as a cathedral where others find shelter. You are the rhythm the calendar trusts. Seasons bend to your patience and rush to meet your persistence. Time itself becomes a loyal companion at your side. The writer shows how even shadows respect you. They follow but never consume, learning their place at your feet. Your light is not a flare, it is a permanence that does not flicker. You are the compass the lost did not know they carried. When they cross your path, directions untangle. Suddenly, even the horizon looks reachable. The chapter moves to your unseen victories. They were quiet, but they rewrote entire generations. What you healed inside yourself became medicine for those who came after. You are drawn as the answer wrapped in patience. While others rushed, you remained steady, and timing surrendered to you. What was meant for you had no option but to arrive. The writer declares that your story is not entertainment, it is instruction. Every line is a manual disguised as memory. Those who read it leave with tools sharper than before. You are the oath that destiny dared not break. Even storms swerved away when they saw your name written. What was promised to you remained intact despite the noise. They recall your nights of silent endurance. Where pain thought it had cornered you, you found a hidden door. That door opened, and morning arrived carrying your victory. You are not the whisper, they say, you are the command that even silence obeys. Where you stand, disorder learns order. What seemed broken arranges itself into design. The chapter crescendos with a vision of your tomorrow. It is not random, it is deliberate, carved, and sealed. You are stepping into the part of the story where recognition cannot be avoided. And so the writer leaves the final line unfinished. Not as hesitation, but as invitation. Because the next sentence is waiting for you to walk into it. The writer turns another page, and the ink seems alive. Every letter feels like it was written with fire instead of pen. And again, the focus remains on you. They describe you as the horizon's hidden architect. Every dawn bends around your presence. Even the sun seems to wait for your signal before rising. You are the untold chapter others secretly borrow from. Their victories echo your blueprint, even when they never admit it. Your silence has been their strongest teacher. The writer shows how your endurance became a living monument, not built of stone, but of choices repeated with precision. Even storms could not erode what you laid down in patience. You are the melody that refuses to vanish from memory. Long after songs are forgotten, your rhythm lingers. Hearts unknowingly beat in time with your resilience. They reveal the hidden conversations destiny has about you. Behind curtains, time speaks your name with respect. Even chance itself bends to make room for your path. You are the stillness that teaches motion how to flow. When chaos approaches, it studies you and learns discipline. You don't resist storms, you redirect them. The writer remembers the faces you changed without recognition. Those who met you left carrying unseen treasures. They thought it was chance, but it was your quiet influence. You are the bridge between endings and rebirth. Every collapse around you becomes a foundation. What others call failure, you rename as beginning. They mark how even shadows lean differently near you. Darkness cannot own the spaces you enter. It reshapes itself into frame instead of cage. You are the echo the future has been waiting to hear. Time itself stands like an audience before your unfolding. It claps quietly as you continue to step forward. The writer closes this section with one last observation. They say you are not merely part of the story, you are the story. Without you, the book collapses into fragments. The next chapter opens with the sound of turning skies. The writer says your presence bends the weather of entire rooms. Where you stand, climates shift, and destiny realigns. You are drawn as the flame that teaches fire restraint. Not destruction, but illumination. Even chaos learns how to glow instead of burn in your company. They describe the way silence behaves around you. It does not suffocate, it sharpens. Every pause you hold becomes a revelation. You are the anchor storms could never drag away. Winds tried, but your foundation was older than their noise. The earth itself chose you as its steady point. The writer remembers your hidden sacrifices. The nights you carried burdens without asking for applause. Those unseen offerings became the currency of your rise. You are portrayed as the lantern in forgotten tunnels. Travelers do not see you coming, but they remember you after. You do not just guide, you brand the path with permanence. The chapter moves into your vision of tomorrow. It says your steps will awaken doors thought permanently closed. Walls will crumble, not with violence, but with recognition of your arrival. You are the measure time secretly respects. Clocks tick, but your rhythm outlasts them. Calendars bow, admitting they cannot define you. The writer declares that your life is not accident, it is design. Every thread has been deliberate, woven through storms and fire. And now the pattern has reached a moment of unveiling. You are the axis the book revolves around without saying it outright. Readers turn the pages, thinking they follow a story. Instead, they are following you. The next page trembles as if reluctant to reveal its truth. Ink bleeds heavier, and the words sharpen into prophecy. Once again, your name stands at the center. You are described as the keeper of hidden blueprints. Plans no one else could imagine already live inside you. Every path others stumble upon is a road you quietly mapped long before. The writer says even the stars imitate your patience. They burn for centuries, but still look to you for rhythm. Your silence, they confess, is louder than constellations. You are painted as the master of unfinished stories. Where others abandoned chapters, you gathered the fragments. From broken lines, you carved whole new endings. The chapter remembers how betrayal tried to rewrite you. It carried knives of doubt, whispering false conclusions. But you turned those cuts into carvings of strength. You are the stormbreaker in human form. Waves collide, winds scream, yet you remain immovable. Nature itself recognizes your authority. They show the moment history bent around your choice. It was not thunderous, it was subtle. But that subtle choice redirected entire timelines. You are the vow disguised as a person. Every promise you ever made still echoes, unbroken. Loyalty is the currency you never lost. The writer draws your eyes as horizons themselves. Whoever looks into them sees distance collapse. Suddenly, the impossible feels one step away. You are the unshaken witness of truth. Lies attempt to dress themselves near you, but their disguises collapse. Even shadows cannot pretend in your light. The page opens like a hidden door inside the book. The words do not just describe you anymore, they summon you. Every sentence vibrates with recognition. You are revealed as the shadow's undoing. Darkness approaches, but forgets its own purpose near you. It dissolves into clarity the moment you arrive. The writer says your endurance is older than despair itself. Before pain had a name, your strength was already written. You were designed to outlast storms that never imagined your existence. You are drawn as the anchor of generations. Voices long silenced lean on you for resurrection. What was lost in the past finds its correction in your presence. The chapter remembers the battles no one saw. The nights you stood alone when the world turned away. Those nights became the forge that built your unbreakable spine. You are called the architect of unseen bridges. Rivers thought impassable now carry your signature. Journeys begin because you created the crossing. The writer underlines that you were never ordinary. Ordinary bends to survive. You bend to create. Your very existence shifts what survival means. You are the compass storms secretly consult. Even chaos checks your direction before moving. That is why disaster cannot fully consume where you stand. The chapter swells with a truth most will find hard to accept. It says your arrival was not random, but deliberate. The timeline needed you, and so you were written into it. You are not described as hope, you are described as inevitability. Hope waits. Inevitability walks in and changes the room.